How's it going? Welcome to the live stream. Woo! Pushing it today. Man, oh man. I almost canceled because I just got up on the wrong side. I just couldn't get it going. Excuse me. And then, at almost, I think it was like 1:45, I was like, you just got to do it. Push yourself. Sometimes you don't feel like doing it, and you just have to make yourself do it and get to it, That's how it is. Sometimes we just don't want to do things, but we got obligations. We know it's a good idea to do it. So here I am. Things hopefully are all set up. I was kind of rushing it, so. Anyway, if you're new to this live stream, let me kind of lay out what goes on. I mainly talk about knives or what your passion is. It doesn't even have to be knives, just starting out a new passion or learning your passion or even sticking with your passion. And my biggest passions lately have been doing YouTube and learning how to do videography and stuff like that and cameras and knife making. So in the last year, I've really put a lot of work into building my YouTube channel. So excuse me, I put a lot of work into this channel, and I see a lot of advice out there about what to do and what not to do, and there's a lot of things you can get caught up in that can be good and that can be bad. So I figured I'd just make this live stream about what I've learned, the knife making, the passion, doing what you want to do in life to hopefully make your life better. So, alright, my first topic is, I know a lot of you subscribers that have been here for a long time watch Steve Miller Knives, just like, he's a guy I've looked up to for a long time and still do and consider a good friend. But his last video he put out about, if you want to become a full-time knife maker, don't watch YouTubers and don't watch YouTube videos and don't learn from YouTube. Was kind of the gist. I might be paraphrasing and taking out of context a little bit, but that's what the overall thing I got from it was. And to be honest, I agree with him about 85%, because there's a few things, if you watch YouTubers and stuff, there's a lot of guys out there that have bad information, or they're just starting out themselves and they put out a video on this is how to do this, but they are just learning themselves. So, in that aspect, yes, it's very bad to try to take advice from someone that's also at the same spot you are. And that's the kind of weird dichotomy about YouTube, that people are so focused on getting the title out there right and getting things out that they don't realize they're putting out bad information. Because they don't have the experience to know it's bad information. So, yeah, it's something you got to be real careful about. Even with my videos, I tell you guys, this is how this works for me. You have to experiment yourself and learn. Most of the guys that teach on YouTube or whatever, no matter if it's, whatever it is, they're talking from their experience. They're not necessarily telling you this is how you have to do it. And that's one of the YouTube topics about, is when I was going into where, when you watch all these guys, Nick Nimmin and, Think Media and Gary Vee and all this, they have some great advice. And video influencers, they're always bringing up a guy, make $2,000 a month doing Amazon and doing this. And they're bringing these guys in that either got real lucky or worked really hard and are top of the game. But that's not the norm. I've been doing Amazon affiliate links for 3 months now or something. I haven't barely seen a penny. And so there's a lot of things when you're starting out, you think, oh, well, this is the way to do it. But they don't tell you that it's going to take a long time. Now, Gary Vee, if you watch Gary Vee, he'll tell you it takes 2 or 3 years of just grunting and doing nothing, earning nothing and doing everything, putting 110% work in and getting 5% pay. And that 5% pay you have to take and you have to put back into your business. which kind of ties back into the whole thing with Steve Miller talking about. If you want to become a full-time knife maker, don't watch YouTube videos. Well, if you're considering being a full-time knife maker or going full-time, you should be, how do I put it? You should be kind of beyond the learning process. You know, and if you watch YouTube videos to go full-time, it shouldn't be about knife making. You should have the knife making to a point where you're comfortable, where you're selling your knives. Like I've said before, it took me a whole year, actually maybe 2 years, before I even considered selling a knife because I wasn't happy. You know, I looked at it and I was like, man, would I buy this knife? No. How can I sell a knife that I wouldn't buy myself? So, if you're considering full-time, you should be beyond the YouTube realm. Which, you know, that's the part I completely agree with Steve, you know. But you should watch YouTube videos on marketing, building a business. Because, honestly, you could have the best knife in the world, and it's not going to sell if you don't know how to market it. If you don't know how to get out there and get the word out and run your business. And even if you do sell your knives and all that, the money you make, you're not going to know what to do with. You know, there's set plans that I don't even know. I've just taken advice from Gary Vee and stuff that, you know, you don't go out there and buy this or that. You take all the money you make and maybe spend, you know, a quarter of it on supplies and then the other 75% on, you know, I mean, is it 75%? Yeah, okay. I'm doing math off the top of my head. I'm usually real good at math, but, and you put it back into marketing. You put it back into ads. You put it back into getting yourself out there. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Andy? It's like 3 o'clock here. It's not evening, but I appreciate the sentiment. Oh, man. So, yeah, Steve's video was on point. But, you know, and another thing he said, don't go to YouTube. Find a local maker that'll teach you, that is full-time. That'll teach you the business and all that. The thing is, if there's a guy making knives full-time, making the $50,000 or $60,000 like Steve was talking about, he doesn't have time to teach you. Guys that teach, guys that make full-time, or guys that make knives full-time are doing that. You know, 8, 12 hours a day. Knife, 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 knife. Like me, I split my time up. I'm like, you know, 4 to 6 hours making knives. 4 to 6 hours YouTube. 8 hours YouTube because editing's in there and all that and shooting. So, you know, this guy's not going to take the time unless you become an apprentice. You know, if you're lucky enough to find an apprenticeship, then yeah, he will teach you, but you're going to spend that time working. You're going to be working 80% and learning like, you know, less than that, you know, and then you're going to be running, you know, it's not like you're going to find someone. And I think the YouTube, for any passion, anything you want to learn, YouTube is great for beginners. You know, in all the other videos I've talked about, previous videos, I say, you know, it doesn't matter what your passion is. If you're starting something out or there's something you love to do, take your phone out and record yourself doing it. Now, that's not becoming a YouTuber. That's a hobbyist. That's just teaching yourself to learn your passion. Because the best way to see your mistakes is by recording yourself and watching it back. Once you upload it to YouTube, then you have more space on your phone and all that, and you get used to uploading, and, you know, you might have fun with it. But that's not being a YouTuber. Being a YouTuber is more work than, you know, I've said this plenty of times. It's a lot of work. You know, if you go back, you know, even to like July, you know, if you go back, you can see the progression of the time and the effort I have put into my videos. Slowly make them better. Like I say, I spend 6 to 8 hours shooting video, editing, all that stuff. What's up, Hidden Acres? Loderman? Bob Reeling? Yeah. Any business, and it doesn't go with knife making. So knife making, once you get the knife making part down, it's a small percentage. I mean, you know, if you guys have watched me, you know I have to take care of my mom. She had a stroke. She's bedridden. You know, I've taken care of her the last 3 years. So I don't have a choice but to stay here, take care of her, and learn YouTube and learn knife making. If that wasn't the case and I wanted to be a knife maker, I probably wouldn't be doing YouTube videos. I would be out at every knife show, every gun show, any show I could find that has to do with hunting, fishing, anything to do where people might use a knife. I would spend every cent I've made from making knives, and I would go to every show, and I would give my cards out. I would sell my product. Every minute I wasn't making knives, I would be learning marketing. I would be learning business. And it goes for any passion. Right now, family comes first, and it's priority number one. So that's my main job, taking care of her. Knife making and YouTube are my future stepping blocks. So that's why I have to do this. And, Steve was right. If you want to go full time, YouTube for knife making should be behind you. Now, I will say this. I watch all kinds of knife makers still on YouTube. I don't care if I've been making knives 10 years. I'm going to watch other knife makers just to learn things. And I've said this before. When I was a foreman doing carpentry, I was telling people what to do and I was working hard and all that stuff. A new guy came in, didn't know a thing about carpentry, and he just said, "Oh, why don't we do it this way?" And I realized that is a better way to do it. So even someone that's never even done anything can teach you something. And that's the thing. Once you get down the line and you think you have all this experience and well-knowing of knife making, you get complacent. And you don't realize you're set in your ways. The day you stop learning is a bad day, and you might as well quit what you're doing. So, Steve had a good heart, and I know what he was talking about. He's trying to help everyone and trying to help people that's making knives, but I took it kind of as a wrong message. Now, he wasn't speaking about me, and he wasn't speaking about anyone specific. He's just saying if you want to go full time, find someone that's going to teach you. But look, I live in the D.C. area. I don't know anyone. I think L.T. Wright is the closest knife maker, which is like 2 hours away. So even to find someone else making knives is almost impossible. So YouTube has that advantage. So, that's my little rant about that. And I just thought I had to put that out there because I don't want people to get discouraged. I don't want people to see that video and think he's talking about beginning knife makers. I don't really know exactly what he was talking about, but I have a feeling he's just wants to help people and be like, look, this is what you got to do if you want to become full-time. Yeah, I wonder where Chip is at. I think 2 weeks ago he was watching the Saints. I think they lost last week, didn't they? So he might be bummed out about that. So he actually sent me he actually commented on yesterday's video, so I know he's all right. So that's all that matters. Well, he was all right yesterday. Let's hope he's all right today. Oh, man. So since I got the knife making thing out and that rant on, I'll go into a little bit about YouTube. And, and this kind of goes with the whole tie-in with what Steve was talking about too. Now, like I said before, I've suggested uploading, taking videos. If you're a knife maker, put your phone or camera, anything on the grinder. Record yourself grinding, watch it back. You'll see what mistakes you make, how you have to change, and that goes for any passion. When you start recording yourself, that's one thing. When I started teaching, I actually started learning just as much as I was teaching. Because you have to kind of, go into it and study what you're doing. and make sure you're giving good information. If you want to really be serious. Now, a lot of these guys that are like knife makers that do knife making videos, it's all high speed. You don't know what they're talking about. You don't know what they're doing. But it seems to get a lot of the people in. You know, a lot of people have that ADD. They want it quick. But those aren't the guys trying to learn knife making or whatever your passion is. So if you're serious about wanting to do YouTube, you know, it's going to take a long time. Like, I passed the 1,000 sub and the 4,000 hour thing, what, November or something? I still haven't been monetized, so I still haven't seen a cent. And I think I'm up to like 1,400 subs now. Still haven't seen a cent. So it's a lot of hard work. And it's just that. Just like the knife making thing. Work. Hey, what's up, Bootleg Blades? You guys that are knife makers, go check out his stuff, man. Some of the stuff he does is pretty sweet. He's one of the guys, he asked me about if he should start making videos. And I told him, yeah, you definitely should go start making videos. Go check it out. He's doing good, man. He's doing good. So check him out. But, you know, being a YouTuber is, like I said, I probably work more hours editing and shooting the video than I do on my knives. And I've sunk a lot of time into studying about YouTube, and that's why I think I can talk about it and tell you guys, you know, if you want to be a YouTuber, what it takes. Because, you know, you see these guys, Nick Nimmin and all that, you have to have the thumbnails, you have to have the title, you have to have the content. And if you watched last week's live stream, that's what I talked about. The whole Google ads, promoting yourself, and how good your content has to be. But you also have to study other YouTubers. You know, I've been watching guys like Peter McKinnon, Matty Hoppet. Look up cameras and look up Matty, Matti, and you'll see him. You know, Casey Neistat, even like Sarah Dietschy, which, you know, I just started watching a little bit, and you take these points. Now, you can't be like them. Don't copy them. That's the important thing about anything, knife making, videos, any passion, you know, doing camera, doing videography. Get ideas, see what works, but what works for them might not work for you. You know, and the one thing I preach overall is you have to be sincere. You have to be yourself, and story is king. You know, bad audio will ruin everything and people will click away, but story and personality are everything. You know, there's a guy, Chucky 2009. I started watching to learn welding. Now he does like tractors and stuff. I'm a city boy. I have no interest in tractors at all, but I watch every video because I've been invested. You know, the Shaytards. They're a Mormon family from Idaho. I started watching them in 2009. I watch every video because I'm invested in that family. I'm a Christian. I'm not a Mormon. You know, I have no family. I mean, I have my mom, but I don't have kids or anything like that. But I watch them because I watched them over the years of Maker Studios and all that before I even thought about YouTube. And I got hooked on their personality. And that's what YouTube is about. Story and personality. But that will get you people in the door. You have to market yourself. You have to invest back in yourself. You have to work hours and hours and hours. You know, Andy, I'll tell you how the world worked before social media. I'm old. It was, you didn't know. You know, if you look back now, it's kind of like when you look back on anything, it's like, how did they make it? Well, you didn't know you couldn't make it without it because you didn't have it. But I'll tell you, it was horrible. I remember breaking down, you know, driving out somewhere in the country or something, breaking down and have to walk 5 miles to find a phone just to call somebody and then wait 3 hours so they can show up. You know, I remember it being horrible where, you know, something bad happens and you're stranded. You can't get on your phone and do that. You know, that's how it was. People had to go out and do things, and, you know, I would say it was much harder, but we didn't know it was harder because that's just how we had to do. So, that's... Wolf Party, yeah. This is my... I was born in Alexandria, and we moved into this house when I was 6 months old. You know, I moved down to Virginia Beach for about 5 years. Then when my dad passed away in 2001, I moved back here, and me and my mom kind of took care of each other. So, that's about it. Yeah. 20 miles in the snow, uphill both ways. Yeah, man. What's up, Stalking Wolf? Haven't seen you in a little bit. I don't think you were here last week. There's Chip. I knew he would show up. See, Aaron? I told you he was all right. He would show up. Chip, I said I didn't know because the Saints lost last week if you were going to show up or not. I don't watch football, but from what I heard, they got robbed or something. So, actually, I hear a lot of people are boycotting the Super Bowl because they think both teams got robbed or something like that. But I don't know anything about football. I'll be honest. I don't watch sports, so... Oh, man. But back to the YouTube thing. Yeah, so... And you know, all these channels I'm telling you to go watch, and when you put in how to be a YouTuber, they have great advice. Just like Gary Vee. Man, I went full nosedive into Gary Vee. Man, I was caught hook, line, and sinker. You know, man, I bought into everything that dude said, and I was like, man, this is awesome. I'm gonna make everything, man. Oh man, yeah. And I was overworking myself. And I took the wrong part of his message. Because if you listen to Gary Vee enough, he tells you, if you don't have this in you, if you don't have entrepreneurship in you, don't try to be something you're not. And that part I didn't want to hear, so I blocked it out. I'm not an extroverted person. Now, I say this all the time. You might think so. Talking to a camera is real easy. Man, you know, I'm a ham. Like, you know, I've been a musician my whole life. I can get on stage and play in front of a stadium, no problem. But when it comes to, like, going out, talking one-on-one to people, asking people, you know, about marketing or, you know, that's the whole thing. When you run a business, you have to do meetings. You have to talk to people a lot, one-on-one, and that's not where I'm good at. Now, if I'm at, like, a knife show or something, and someone comes up to me and says, hey, what's up? I'm like this, I can talk, because someone's broken that barrier. But when it takes, like my friend Heath, he's like, man, there's this guy I want you to collab with. Here's his number. I'm like, dude, I can't, I just don't have that part in me to reach out to someone and ask for help or ask if they want to do this or that. So, oh man, sorry to hear that, Chip. You didn't tell me you were sick. I just talked to you yesterday on the thing. Man, I hope you're feeling better. But, yeah, so I had to step back from Gary Vee's thing and reanalyze. I'm not extroverted, so I can't make myself that kind of person. I'm not a salesman, so I can't do his eBay things where you go to garage sales or you buy things and resell them. I can't do that. That's not a part of me. And like Think Media and video influencers, there's always like, you have to make a plan for 2019 if you want to be successful. I'm not a planning guy. I'm a very impulsive person that loves to work hard and achieve a lot without goals. See, that's the other thing. A lot of these guys, oh, you have to set goals. You have to have a plan. Man, when I set that big goal to 1,000 subs, all you old guys that have been here for a while, man, that crushed me. I almost gave up YouTube for period. You know, hit a wall of depression because I hit that goal and it was just like the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. So I realized I don't want to set goals. I don't want to make a plan. You know, I'm a very creative person. You know, now if you're not a creative person and you need a plan structure or you need a goal structure, yes, that's what you need to do. But anything, if it's YouTube or any passion, like I've had a new obsession with doing cameras and learning videography. I do need to learn photography because my photography sucks. But my videography is getting really good. Like even this image, I try to use the camera I got and I just can't get a good picture out of it. But this, you know, this probably looks pretty good to people, but to me it looks grainy and I don't like it. But it's the best I can do for right now. And so, you know, passion is something you have to put everything into. But you have to know what parts of it are you and aren't you. You know, learning something, I really love doing it and hard work. But if I was to set a goal like, okay, you know, I guess my 2 videos a week and the live stream are kind of a goal. But they're not really a goal. They're more of what I want. I guess they're a goal. But, you know, even that, a lot of times, I'll wake up, like tomorrow, Monday. I'll wake up Monday, and I won't really do anything because I feel like I have that stress of the goal on me. Like, oh, I have to do this. And I'm not used to that. Just like this morning. You know, if you were here in the beginning of the live stream, at noon, I almost went in and hit cancel. But I'm like, no, you have to do this, you know. This is something, see, there's also things, you know, you can find your weaknesses and try to change them. Now, I'm not an extroverted person, but I am a person that will accept change. It's hard to do. And it's one of my biggest weaknesses is, you know, my mistakes and all that, I have no problem admitting my mistakes. And failure is a big one that I've had to overcome because I've always been so focused on perfection that it set me back a lot. So a lot of times, that's why I even let this go. The video is not where I want it to be, but it's good enough. So perfection is something I'm bringing down instead of it has to be perfect. You know, so when you're doing YouTube or Knives or anything, and you're watching YouTube videos and you're learning from YouTube, make sure you filter out things that don't apply to you or that will hurt you. Because that whole goal thing was very counterproductive. Getting caught up in the whole Gary Vee thing was very helpful, but it was also very counterproductive when I tried to be something I wasn't. Or something that I couldn't change. Yeah, a plan. There we go. It's not a goal, it's a plan. Thank you. Oh, man. I haven't even started sanding this knife. I probably won't. I'm on a rant today. I tell you, it was like, I think it was 350 or 255. And luckily I had already filled this up. I went upstairs to get something. I was like, oh, man, I came bolting down here. I tried to post on Instagram. I'm going live and stuff like that. And and it was just like, man, Joe, just do it. So, oh, whew. Well, yeah. So, man, you can always tell in my videos when I've been running around sweating or something, because I'm always taking off my glasses and wiping them down. They get all fogged up. Whew, man, I haven't, so, one big thing, if you're a YouTuber and you're here, don't buy subs. Don't buy likes. That's the biggest trap. You know, I looked into it. I almost did it. And that goes for any social media, Instagram and all that. That's not how the algorithm works. And that's not going to get your channel or anything you do buying those likes, you know. And they're so enticing, you know. Get 1,000 subs for $30. And you're like, oh man, that'll make my channel, I can get monetized. But no, because really, if YouTube or something like that sees you doing that, they'll shut your channel down. And even if you don't get your channel shut down, those 1,000 subs are never going to interact with you again. They're never going to come look at your page. They're never going to do anything to help grow your channel. You need one-on-one growth. You need people, you know, like all you guys that are here now. When I first started this live stream, you know, Heath showed up and like one other friend. Now look at all you guys, and man, this is awesome. The support you guys are giving me is amazing. It makes all this work I've been talking about and all this time worth every minute. So, oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, buying subs. Yeah, buying subs, buying followers, all that. It's bad. It gets you nowhere. You know, there's nothing in it. You know, if you want to learn about how to grow your audience, go watch last week's live stream where I talk about Google ads. You know, put it this way, Google owns YouTube. If you're going to spend any money to promote your channel, do it through the person that owns the business. You know, go right to the source. Don't go through other people that give you fake likes or fake stars. I can't talk anymore. Whew. That gives you fake followers, fake subscribers, all that stuff. Don't buy it. If you're going to spend your money, spend it, you know. Now, I tried this. I got obsessed with Instagram. When I was doing the whole Gary Vee thing, you know, Facebook and Instagram are like the cheapest way and the best way. But they don't allow knife making. Now, YouTube has opened up another spot where you can kind of get away with it if you word it right. Or they have like an extended supply or extended source, I guess it's called, where they allow stuff that they consider not appropriate. So Google's opened up a bit, but Facebook and Instagram, I was obsessed with getting my stuff out there on Instagram just to get more publicity, bring more people to the, you know, just marketing. Because Gary Vee, man, when you want to learn how to market and run your business, that's the man to watch. I don't care if you're a full-time knife maker, you want to be a full-time photographer, full-time YouTuber, Gary Vee is inspiration. But like I say, be careful of what he says and what you learn from him, because it can be counterproductive if you're not that kind of personality. You know, guys like Casey Neistat, Gary Vee, those guys have that work ethic and all that built into them. You know, if they weren't doing YouTube, they would be running another $1 million company or something else. You know, and they, you know, if you ever watched Casey Neistat for a while, when he talked about making beam, he would have to go to all these, you know, big old corporations that give out money, that invest, you know, investment funding and all that. And he said it was the hardest thing he ever had to do. But he also, you know, knew Gary Vee and all them guys, and they all invested in Beam. So, you know, that's all part of business. You have to be able to ask people for money and all kinds of stuff like that. So, anything, you know, before you think about quitting your job and going full-time with anything, you got to know what you're getting into. Like I said, you know, I worked as a carpenter, you know, before my arm got messed up. Like, I was, you know, it was me and another guy. He was the boss, and I was under him. And anytime he wouldn't be there, I had to tell everyone that we were building houses, you know, I had to tell everyone what to do if he wasn't there. You know, I guess I wasn't really a foreman, but I always say, because explaining the whole story is easy than saying, oh yeah, it was just the two of us, and we hired all these people out, and then he wasn't, you know. Anyway, so I just say I was a foreman, but man, we worked from like 7 a.m. till, you know, we worked 10 to 12-hour days anyway in the summer. That work was easy compared to this. Man. Just, when you have to be your own boss, it's a lot more work. because everything falls on you. You know, it's all up to you. If you don't want to work, you don't work, which means you don't make money, which means things don't progress, you know. So the product is the miner. You know, once you get your product, your knives, you know, if you're a carpenter, you're building birdhouses or whatever, that's the product. That's 25%. Everything else is up to you, how you want to market it, how you want to go out and meet other people, you know, going to events, you know, going to these sales, flea markets, whatever it takes to sell those products, whatever it is. You know, if you're a photographer going out, like I had a guy contact me the other day, said he's a photographer and he wants to come take pictures of me while I'm working. And of course, since I want to learn photography, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I told him I'm concerned because this is my house and I'd have to meet him somewhere else first and, you know, get to know him before he could come here. But, you know, now that I'm starting to get a little traction with YouTube and all that stuff, yeah, people are actually contacting me, asking me, you know, will you do this or can I come do this? And that's another thing, you know, the whole intern thing, and if you want to, like, what Steve was talking about, you know, go find a knife maker that'll teach you. You know, what that means is you're going to have to go work for that guy. How many ever hours he asks you to work for him for free. You're going to go there, and if he says, okay, you come here for 8 hours, and you bust your ass as hard as it, and I might teach you for a half an hour how to make a knife, you know? And that's how you get someone like that to teach you how to make a knife. It's not like, oh, hey, full-time knife maker, why don't you just teach me? You know, that's not how it works. You know, and Steve had all the great intentions, but that's not how it works. When you go ask someone that's full-time, business-oriented knife maker, and you say, can you teach me how to make a knife? Or anything. Hey, you're a professional photographer. Can you teach me how to do photography? You know what they're going to do? They're going to hand you their camera bag and say, here, carry this for 8 hours. And follow me around. And when I tell you to hand me this camera, you hand me this camera with this lens. You know, that's what it means when you go find someone to teach you how to do whatever passion it is. Now, YouTube's a weird dichotomy because the only way to learn is to watch. So, yeah, you know, there is no person that will come and take you under the arm. Now, you might find someone that's already an established YouTuber, like when Peter McKinnon and all them got together with Casey Neistat and did collaborations. You know, collaborations are a good way to build your audience. That's, you know, that's what's going to teach you is collaborations. But to find that collaboration isn't that easy. So, oh, thanks, Kat. I didn't even see him. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I agree, Wolf Party. I agree. And that's kind of the issue I took with Steve. He was right, you know, like I said, 85%. But if you're thinking about going full-time, and I said this in the beginning, if you're thinking about being a full-time knife maker, learning how to make knives on YouTube should be kind of behind you. Your product has to stand on its own before you can think about full-time anything. You know, YouTube is awesome if you're a beginner to learn, to be the hobbyist, to get better, to teach you the in and outs. And I've said this many times, even me, I'll teach you like that whole beginner's course on knife making. That's how I do it. That might not work for you. It's just a guideline. Any video of any subject, anything you watch, any tutorial, those are guidelines on how it works for them. Now you have to take parts of that out that will apply to you and take that guidance and apply it to whatever you're doing. And that's where YouTube is strong. Now, if you can find a guy that's made knives for 10 years or something that will teach you, man, you're all the better. But that doesn't mean stop watching YouTube. Learn everything about, you know, it doesn't matter where you learn from as long as you're learning. You know, this whole thing, and it goes with anything. People always think it has to be one way or the other. And it drives me crazy. Even with like cameras and stuff, I've been learning a lot about cameras. It's either like Canon or Sony or Panasonic. Well, I want to try them all, and I want to use them together to make something better. You know, if I can learn something from a knife maker here, and I can learn something from YouTube here, why not use it all to make my whole progression of everything better? If you can learn from experience in someone, and you can learn from YouTube, why not, you know, and never stop learning. And, you know, people seem to miss this thing. And that's why people get complacent. And that's why bad things happen. The more experience you get, the more you think, oh, I'm skilled. I don't have to worry about learning anymore because I've got it down. But that's wrong. That's when bad things happen. You know, that's when accidents happen. Or, you know, there's always someone new with a new idea. Or there's someone always that can come along to teach you something that you might not even know. Why stop learning? You know, I've got my knife making to a point where I'm pretty happy with it, but I still watch Simple Little Lives. I still go back and watch Ecom Knives old videos. You know, Red Path, or, well, Dirty Room Knives, all that. And unfortunately, you know, LB Customs, you know, he passed away last weekend. It's, after last weekend's live stream was really a bummer, and there's a video where I put all his donation stuff, but I got into that in that video. But man, I looked up to that guy for years, and I still watch all these videos because you never know what you're going to learn. You never know what you can take from another person. It doesn't matter YouTube. It doesn't matter if it's one-on-one. Man, to say, and you know, Steve's a great guy and he had all his heart into it, but man, it just bugged me when he said, don't watch YouTube videos. Don't, you know, why shut yourself down to learning? Yeah, Jeremy does amazing stuff, you know? And the funny, you know, I got into this rant a long time ago about looking at other knife makers or looking at anything. Whatever your passion is, don't look to other people as competition or as better than you. Don't compare yourself to other makers, whatever field it is. You know, like, you know, if you watch Simple Little Life, you watch him enough, you'll realize, you know, his dad owns a whole machine shop or something like that. Owns a whole company with machine. And he learned, you know, I think he even went to school for machining. Don't quote me on that, but he has a background in machining. So when he moved to knife making, it was a step, you know, and it came a lot easier to him because he had the machining background. You know, I had the carpentry background and all that, so I kind of knew about measuring and doing stuff and all that. Now, it took me, the bevel thing, it took me like a year of fighting bevels just to, oh, man, if you guys were here from the beginning, you would be like, man, my knives are better than his. But, so, yeah, it's, you know, don't look to other knife makers for anything except inspiration, or other YouTubers for anything other than inspiration. You know, it's not a competition. If you want to compare yourself, only compare yourself to how far you've come. And that's why I say, you know, record yourself. Put these videos up on YouTube. It saves a lot. Man, I've got like, I think I've got like, what is it now? Like 15 terabytes of storage of the last year's videos. That stuff builds up. And when you want to start becoming a YouTuber, you have all that footage to go back onto. But if you don't want to become a professional YouTuber or whatever, uploading your videos are always there. So you upload, and then you go back a month later, and you'll be like, wow, look how far I've come. That's who you compare yourself to. Compare yourself to your former self. And that's, you know, that's what I'm saying. This doesn't just go for knife making or YouTube. This goes for anything. When you shoot yourself, you can see your mistakes. You can see your improvements and all that stuff. So, yeah. Man, I'm on a rant today, huh? Maybe I should wake up and be in a rush more often. Woo! Oh, man. So, you know, one of the guys I've learned a lot about cameras and stuff off is Peter McKinnon. Now, he got 1 million subs in less than a year. Everyone's like, oh, man, how did he do it? But if you listen to his story, he was a photographer that went out and marketed himself with magicians. You know, he had the ends. He did professional photography for 10 years. And he says that. He's like, you might think I made a million subs in a year, but you don't see the 10 years of work I put into this, into my photography. You don't see all the backstory. You only see the last year of subs. So, you know, watching all these guys, it can be very misleading. You think, oh man, this guy just made 10,000 subs and whatever, and I can do that too. Well, no, you might not be able to. And I don't want you to get discouraged by other people's success. You know, they might have bought those. You know, like I just talked about, 10 minutes ago. You see someone with a lot of subs, also look at their views, or also look at their comments. If they have, 20,000 subs, but they only have like 100 people commenting or 100 views, most likely they did stuff where it's not going to get engagement. You know, they built their channel on a false pretense where because people have this thing about YouTube where you have to get subscribers. No, views are what counts. Interactions what counts. People commenting, that's what counts. Being genuine, being sincere, being yourself. That's the important part of YouTube. Buying subs is just going to do that. You're going to have all these subscribers, but YouTube's going to look at your channel and be like, wow, he's got all these subscribers. He must have hit a fluke or something, And that's all it is. People that, like you see these viral videos, and all of a sudden they have all these subscribers, but they can't put that out again, and they get discouraged and quit. So, look out for that instant success. And that goes with anything. I don't know if it's a saying or not, but if you rise to the top instantly, there's only one place to go. That's back down to the bottom. So you have to gradually work on whatever your passion is, and the better you get. Look at Alex Steele. I've watched Alex Steele for years now. When I first watched him, he had 10,000 subscribers. But he did videos every single day. Not every week. He did videos, and he did good videos. It wasn't like, I talk about that in my last live stream too. You can't do daily vlogs if the content's not good. You have to have story, and content has to be good. If that's not good, cut back to once or twice a week and then build up. But Alex Steele went from like 10,000 subs to like 50,000 to 100,000 to 500,000. Now he's over 1 million. And it's been in like 2 years because he put in the work. And you can tell every cent he's made from YouTube, he put back into it. He started out in a little shop probably about the size of this room and just worked and worked. It's hard work. Romania. LSG. Yeah. Man, it is awesome when you guys tell me where you're from. Like Rhino54, I think he's from France. I haven't seen him today. Yeah, 12 to 16 hours at least if you want to work for yourself. There's no such thing as 9 to 5. Now, there'll be times where I'll stay up to 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and then I got to get back up, feed mom and all that. But that means I'm working from 10 a.m. or whatever time I wake up, maybe noon, back till noon again. Back till midnight. And, for me, the knife making is work, but I got to get on. You know, I got to talk to all you guys because, man, your support means everything. So I've got to answer emails and do that. And it's starting to build up. And I see what all these guys talk about, how it gets easy to burn out. Because, man, the more, you know, like, you know the saying, be careful of what you ask for, you might actually get it. And, man, I love all the comments and I love all that, but it is time consuming. But that's part of my job now. Now that I've become a YouTuber, I got to set aside a couple hours, or when I come up from knife making for lunch, I got to sit there for an hour as I eat. You know, I don't sit there, relax and eat. I sit there on Facebook, I sit there on YouTube and all that, and I answer your comments. I'll go back down, I'll work. Set up a shot here, shot, you know, all my cameras take 10 to 20 minutes to set up. Then I get to work. By dinner time, I come back up and I answer more of your questions. Or maybe I'll take a 5-10 minute break. I'm not sitting down relaxing. I'm opening up my browser and I'm getting on and I'm commenting. And even if I'm not answering comments, I'm going on other pages and commenting on their stuff. Because I want to show support to the guys that I follow just as much as you guys, you know, comment on my stuff. And it's the whole job, you know. This isn't, you know, social media is still fun, but now it's becoming my job, and it's taken me a lot to realize this. So, wow, man, I've almost been on an hour. Woo, man, did I go on a rant today? Oh, man. So I think that's about it. I didn't even touch this knife once, but that's okay. I got a lot off my chest, and hopefully it helps you guys no matter what it is you want to do in life. You know, my main focus now is videos, and making knives. So that's kind of my main topic. But this applies to anything, anywhere, anything you want to do. Now, if you want to work a 9-to-5 job, if you went to college and all that, and that's your passion, man, that's awesome. You know, if family is your passion, that's awesome. Yeah, whatever your passion is, make sure you're enjoying it. You know, that's a big thing. A lot of people will say, oh, I don't want to do that as my job because then it becomes a job and not my passion anymore, which is true. You know, we got one life. We got to do the best we can with what we got, and we got to make ourselves happiness. Happiness should be key over one. I mean, king over all. Key over one. I don't even know what that means. But, yeah, life is about happiness. Now, man, believe me, I've got depression problems and I've had all that stuff. Believe me. You know, I could tell you nightmares. I'm saving that for maybe when I get down the line. But my life wasn't very nice, let me put it that way. You know, there's reasons my whole body's filled with scars and all that. But that's, I digress. You know, the harder I work now, the happier I am. But that's just something, you know, I used to complain about being bored and not having anything to do and blame everything else. And when it was just me, I just needed to work. I just needed to have fulfillment in my life. So I still get depressed and all that. Like I said, after I hit 1,000 subs, I crashed horribly. But anyway, like I said, I think that's it. I appreciate all you guys showing up. I haven't been reading the comments, so yeah, you know, if your country doesn't support what you want to do, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't have advice for that, and that's a hard one. You know, you have to live by the laws of the land, and yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know, I don't have any experience in that. I can't tell you what to do in that because I have yeah, no experience. I don't know anything about that, so that's something I can't comment on. I'm sorry. I do wish you the luck, and you know, I guess the one thing I could tell you, try to find happiness in the little things. You know, family. Anything that makes you happiness, just cherish that happiness. You know, if your country doesn't allow you to do things, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. But, sorry, I got sidetracked there. I just read that, and that made me sad, you know, when you can't be the person you want to be or whatever. That's unfortunate, man, and whew, that's a tough one. That's really tough. Well, I hate to end on that note, but yeah, I wish you the best, and I hope everything, you know, I hope you can find happiness in something. That's all I can tell you. You know, if you got to work so many hours and all that, whatever time you don't have to work, try to find something that you're passionate about and that you can be happy about. Other than that, I don't know. I'm not qualified to give that kind of advice. But anyway, this was an awesome live stream other than that little back part. But hey, man, we got to deal with these problems. Not everyone has a great life. So, you know, that's just do the best we can. You know, make ourselves happy in whatever little spot we can. And if you're not happy, try to find something that will make you happy. Because that's all we got. It's this one life, then it's over. You know? All right. Enough rambling. Thanks for watching. Like always, the Amazon links are down below. My website should be up here if you're watching the repost. And if you're on a mobile phone, all the links are down below too. I just put the links up here on the cards because if you're watching on a laptop and all that, it's a lot easier. But everything that's up here is all said down in the links below. Thank you for showing up. Thanks for all the support. Man, I really appreciate it. Man, it's growing, and it's, man, to watch you guys all show up and all this talk. I know I was ranting instead of reading all the comments today, but man, I really appreciate it. Thank you all for coming, and let's all have a great week. You know, I got a few ideas for videos to come out, so, you know, you'll probably see me Wednesday, but till we meet again, you know, have a great day. Man, take care of yourself. And as always, take it easy.